Hi, I'm Glenn Southern. Welcome to another Curve Studios ZBrush video. In this short video I'm going to show you how to use this tool, which is the ZSpheres tool. You've seen me probably do this if you've watched any of the other Curve Studio videos. And we're going to go straight into it by drawing, as I have done, the ZSphere into the canvas. We're going to switch to symmetry across X so that we've got a symmetry function to work with, and we're going to literally start drawing straight away with ZSpheres down at the bottom here. Now this project we're going to use, the subject's going to be a minotaur, so what you're looking at here is the front of the head and the nose, and this will be the horns here coming around the back. So we're going to go straight into the horns and just bring them round sphere by sphere. We could use less spheres, but you'll see in a moment when I do a test that this gives a really nice set of polygons, nice set of geometry really. We'll just do a test straight away there. And the best way to test is go up here, have quick mode on, quick edit, and frame, and you'll see it in polyframe mode. So straight away you can see those horns are looking quite where I would want them to be. I'll adjust them now, but the look of the curve and the polygons is good. Go to adaptive skin, and we're going to hit this little button here, which is minimal skin to child. You'll see this area here change, just tightens up like that straight away. So come out of that preview mode, which is keyboard A, and we'll just now go to draw down to 1, and we'll go to move. And we'll, in fact, what we'll do is we'll just shrink that down a little bit by coming out of edit mode, so keyboard T and keyboard E, and we'll shrink that down back into edit mode with keyboard T. And now we'll move some of these ZSpheres around, and we'll bring the shape of the horn a little bit forward and curve it back in. And what we're going to do is move the head slightly and move those down a little bit. And what I might do later on is bring those horns further forward, but for now they're quite okay there. If you look, still retain that quite nice shape. I'm going to put a couple of extra bits of geometry in here by adding a few more Z-spheres here. And that'll have essentially be our eyes. Just move them to make sure they're right. And then we're gonna, along here, we're going to end up needing some geometry for the nose. So straight away we've got the nose geometry, the nostrils, the eye geometry, and the back of the head. So, and the back of the horn, should I say. So add some geometry down here that will be going down to the chest and neck. And this here we can fill out later on, but as long as the creases are right and there's no overlapping geometry anywhere here, it works out absolutely fine. And straight away I'm quite happy with that, to be honest, so I'll just refine them a little bit more in terms of their position. I'll scale that one up a little bit and just see what he looks like that. They've popped inside, which is useful sometimes, but not for this one that we're doing. That's pulled it out a bit more, so that's better. I'm generally happy with that. So straight into make adaptive skin, and you'll see here the original ZSphere copy and now the ZSphere skin, ZSphere copy 1 skin, which is now just geometry. It's asking us to switch to lose this one. We'll clear the screen with Control N and use this one. Keyboard T. Now there's no ZSphere ZSpheres applied to this at all, so what we're working on here is just straight geometry. Go back into X, symmetry across X, and we'll just do some moving around of some single polygons just to now give us the shape that we're looking for. This is one thing that I've said before, people don't realise that you can just move single vertices in ZBrush. It's very common in the more traditional 3D packages. There's a little bit of overlap in there actually, but we'll be okay with that when we smooth it out. Very common, as I was just saying, in more traditional 3D packages, but in something like ZBrush people forget that you can do this. So we're quite okay. Normally at this point I would need to start dividing and adding some edge loops in and around the eyes, but we've actually ended up with quite good geometry around there anyway, so I'm not going to change that too much. Increase the draw size and we'll start dragging around larger chunks of polygons like so. So what we were doing a moment ago was we were just dragging single vertices around to get the shape. Now we can go in and move larger chunks at a time and start defining the shape. Any second now we're going to divide to give ourselves more geometry, but the more work you can do at this stage the better things will be. Okay, fairly happy with that. The back's not where I would want it to be actually. I'd want that a little bit higher, like so, as if it's coming off a body down here, and a bit wider there. So let's divide that one. So we go into geometry and divide, and straight away you can see we've now got a bit more to work with there. So we can bring him up here like this, a bit smaller with the draw size there. We'll just put these eyes a bit further in. We're going to be working on a lip and a lower jaw down here, the chin area. I'm going to have some sagging cheeks down here. I was going to put ears in, but I figured if we do extremely large horns, we'll do some detailing on the top of the head. We wouldn't need ears really for this particular project. Oops, last keystroke, Control Z wasn't where I wanted it, so Control Z puts it right. Okay, you can see there we've got the traditional Minotaur head sort of shape straight away. Just expand these horns a little bit. Just using scale there, as you saw, just click scale, and we're just stroking in, and you can see it's blowing up, almost inflating the mesh in certain areas. It's got a nice refined shape already there. Just lost the flow a little bit there, so we'll bring that back up. I want to keep that ring around that eye quite defined. I'm going to divide again and see what that looks like. Yeah, quite happy with that. So we'll just do a little bit more moving at this level. If you look now, we're looking at 7,700 polygons. So we're not really into high definition yet. So still there's plenty of moving we can do. And one thing you must always do, whether it be ZBrush or any of the other 3D packages that you prefer, the more traditional ones like Lightwave and Maya, you must keep moving these models around and looking at them from every angle. The silhouette is absolutely crucial. It's not just 3D modeling, of course. I've heard this said 1,000 times. It's whether you're sketching or sculpting, you're going to really need to be focusing on the silhouettes and the shapes of the anatomy. I mean, luckily with the Minotaur we're looking at using reference from a real animal, so it's not that hard, to be honest, if you to find reference for a bull's head. Okay, so I'll just pull that eye back a little bit there. So we're about 9-10 minutes into it already, and you can already see you've got a really nice shape. And we'll turn the edit off, and we'll turn quick frame off. We're just checking it now in just a shaded mode. We'll divide up one more time there, and now we're looking at 30,000 polygons. So I think we'll go to draw, and if you hold down the shift key, you get a smooth brush. You can see it goes blue. And you can see where I'm drawing onto the mesh, it's actually smoothing out any areas that I'm not happy with. When I release it, it builds up the mesh. When I hold down the Alt, it smooths it back out. So building up, smoothing out. And by a process of that, you can actually manipulate areas where creasing's occurred, or repair areas even. So down between that area there's a little bit. We'll build it back up and smooth it back down. See if it evens out that mesh. You can see the process there. Worked quite well. I think those horns need to be slightly further back, so I'm going to have an extremely large brush and then just pull huge chunks of the mesh in one go. You can see how that affects it. As you get more and more polygons and a more higher definition model, it becomes harder to do accurate moves like that because it's trying to handle such a lot of polygons. So all your refining, all your shape refining, and this level of checking the muscles and checking the placings for the horns should be done at this stage before you go any higher, really. All you want to be doing when you get up into the million polygon mark is to be detailing, not any of the refining that we've just done. I'm going to divide one more time, and we're now sitting at 123,000 polygons. I'm going to go in now and do things like the eyes and the nose area. So what we can do here, we can use our old favourite, which is the hide facility. So I've snapped that head to an axis by holding down the shift as I'm rotating, and it snaps to any of the nearest axes. You can see I'm doing quite a few there, which is excellent when you want to do the next thing, which is hold down shift and control and pull down to get the green marker mechanism there, and that just basically tells you where it's going to protect. And if I release that now, it goes red, so that would hide what's underneath it. So if I keep it at green and let go of my tablet stylus, there you go, you can see it's hidden the other areas. There's some bits left here, and what we can do is if I hold down shift, control and release shift first, it hides that one and hides that one, because all we're going to do is work on these eyes. So I'm going to actually exit edit mode with T again, back into edit mode. I've just scaled it then with E, and now I'm going to edit the focal shift, so I've got a nice clean brush, sharper edges. I'm just going to put in an eye there, maybe a bit too much in the first go because I left the brush setting too high. So there's the eyeball, and what we're going to do now is we're going to build up around that. The eyebrow. Eyelid first, should I say, and then the eyebrow. One thing we can do is from the transform panel, change it to inflate mode. Too aggressive then with it, so I'm back down to size. You can see straight away those muscles, forehead muscles building up and inflating. Again, keep moving around, keep checking that you're getting the desired results. It's no good doing this and then realising it looks terrible from the top. You must keep checking it from all angles. Okay, quite happy with that for a start. And then shift control, click away, and it reveals the other parts of the mesh. Just hit the wrong area then. Now hide in other bits. I'll do the nose area now. We're not at the highest resolution yet, we're still a good way off the final size, so again we don't want to do too much because we've got another couple of levels of detail that are going to be coming after this. Okay, so we can build that up nicely now. Start thinking about the bottom lip here, and then the jawline. Be quite defined jaw there. I'll build that up in a moment. Just smooth that down a bit there. The mesh isn't going too well there. It'll be fine when we've got more geometry, but at the moment not too good. So we'll just have a nice small draw size for this. This is where we're going to have the quite a wrinkly neck. And it's an ideal time just to add in a few of the bulk wrinkles there, all the way along. Back up again. But while we're here, let's just increase that eyebrow size. I'll just bring that cheek out a bit more. If you hold down the Alt while you're painting, that indents it. So you're effectively pushing with the one way and then indenting is pushing, so pulling with it, not pressed should I say, and then with Alt pressed you're pushing into the mesh. Very bull-like already around the front there, I think. Just expand that a bit more. These jowls to be bigger. We'll drag those down a little bit in a moment. So let's go smaller again. So that was keyboard T and back out, and then we'll reveal where we're at. Quite happy with that. So let's hide these. Oops, daisy. Let's hide these horns. If you want to scroll around the screen, you just hold down the Alt as you're dragging. And then hide these again. So we can now get to the neck a little bit. And we'll actually hide the face this time. We'll do some work on this neck. Enlarge it a bit more again. Make sure that intensity is really low so we're getting a really flat brushing effects. And I want some really deep gouges going in here for the deep wrinkles going down onto the chest, or going down in through the neck here. And each time I'm going along there, it's inflating that out a bit more. You can see the wrinkles building up here, some sort of depth. If you get a bit of that wrinkle in there, just go in with the smooth brush, just holding down the shift key, and then carry on working. Again, you will be able to refine that with more geometry when you go to the next level, so don't worry too much about it. And then around up onto the back, right round here. In fact, that intensity can go up a little bit for this here, because I want quite a warty effect for the back of the creature. Quite a rough effect. You could actually mask these areas and then use something like deformation noise in the deformation sliders over here. You could use this here and just use a bit of noise, but you can quite easily do it if you control your brushes well and your focal shift. You can see that's quite a warty, lumpy back there. We'll go in and detail that a bit more in a minute. Okay, let's reveal that. See what he's looking like now. So the neck's too much there, so we'll take some of that out with a smooth brush. So we're adding a bit, smoothing a bit. Changing the type that we're using. If you ever just want to inflate an area without detailing it too much, then make sure you change the focal shift back up. At the moment we've got it at -93, so if you want to just inflate an area like so, that's just inflating those ripples without adding any more of the detail, then do that. So I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Remember I said it's harder the higher the level you go, so we want to be doing the last of our tweaking really for the shape of the creature. Just anything that you've spotted now, just try and get it done before you go any higher, because we're getting up to the very high definition next level. Perhaps pull that forehead forward, and you can see those wrinkles just crushing in, just nicely like proper wrinkles. It's almost, as I move that, then the expression just changes on the creature, so work out the expression that you're looking for and use these tools to your advantage. So if you're looking for a mean creature, you're going to be looking for tight forehead there and very, very low across the brow there. And if you're looking for a very happy Minotaur, then you want to be lifting it up in the centre and down at the outer corners of the eye. Not that I can imagine many Minotaurs being too happy, but not that I know many. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little tiny, I'm just going to use zoom now instead of making the model larger. I'm just going to use keyboard plus, and I'm just going to put a little earbud in. After all that I said I didn't want one. I think he's slightly lacking, and now we're up at this size. It's probably the best time to do it, so just a tiny little bud there. The next level that we go to will give me plenty of geometry to work from. I'll just move that back a bit to make it a little bit more like in here. And that should look okay in a few minutes when we go to the next level. That forehead's not high enough for my liking, so we'll just bring him right up and make sure he's sitting very proud like that. Okay. Now let's just have a look. I think we've detailed everywhere we need to for the moment. Yeah. So we'll snap it to that direction. We're going to use Projection Master now.